Welcome to Noshtek's webinar about navigating SAP Payment Engine challenges. I'm Neha, your host for today's session, and here's a fact. 5 to 30% of all incoming payments fail straight through processing. Bank reconciliation often turns into an ongoing marathon activity with teams manually matching thousands of payments across multiple banks, brokers, and file formats, delaying true cash visibility. That's why this conversation really matters. Today, we will address the two biggest business challenges in collections and show how SAP plus artificial intelligence solve them. Secondly, our panelists will also share experiences from their past implementation. On that note, let me introduce you to our panel. Our first speaker is Jaideep Sharma, a highly accomplished senior SAP solution architect with 2 decades of experience, specializing in SAP FSCD, FICA, SAP BRIM, S4HANA, and enterprise integration across complex financial and revenue systems. Jaideep is a strategic leader focused on designing and delivering robust and complex SAP transformation and modernization programs. He's highly proficient in modern SAP platforms, including SAP Integration Suite, SAP CPI, API management, and developing cloud native components using ABAP, RAPO data services, enabling secure and real time connectivity. He has been instrumental in architecting and optimizing critical financial processes, including collections, disbursements, IFRS 17, subledger integration, invoicing, broker settlement, and real time payment orchestration. His solutions have helped organizations significantly reduce manual clarification efforts, increase financial automation, as well as ensure data accuracy. So, Jaideep brings a balanced approach of strategic solution design, hands on technical leadership, and operational process understanding. And he ensures that the system he architects are not only scalable and compliant, but also practical and sustainable for long term business use. So, welcome, Jaideep. And thank you. We are very pleased to have him with us today. And he will share insights on building resilient automated payment processing and financial integration capabilities within SAP landscapes. Thank you for joining us, Jaideep.
Thanks for having me here, Neha.
It's great to have you. And on that note, I'll introduce our second speaker. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Mithlesh Kumar Jha, the managing partner and senior SAP solution architect at Noshtek. We are a US-based subsidiary of Convista Consulting Singapore. Mithlesh brings nearly 2 decades of global consulting experience across the insurance, utilities, and telecom industry, with deep expertise in SAP financial services modules, including FSCD, FICA, BRIM, FPSL, PAPM, and S4HANA Finance. Now, he has successfully led end-to-end SAP transformation programs for major clients across the United States, Singapore, Japan, and Europe, focusing on collections on disbursements, subledger accounting, regulatory reporting, and profitability analysis. His leadership combines both technical depth and business process insight, making him a sought-after advisor for organizations modernizing their finance, operations, and integrating with next-generation digital platforms. Beyond his consulting, Mithlesh is also an entrepreneur and business leader, managing ventures across healthcare and professional services. He's so passionate about innovation, digital transformation, and developing the next generation of SAP consultants and solution architects. We are really pleased to have you here with us, Mithlesh. It's a it's an honor to have you here.
Thank you, Neha. Thank you for having me here.
That's so really, I'm so glad Jaideep and Mithlesh are both here, but I will start my session now addressing you, Mithlesh. From your perspective, what are the challenges in payments and collections that keep business and operations team at their toes?
So, Neha, in industries like insurance, utilities, and telecom, companies handle massive volume of incoming payments every day. These payments need to be allocated correctly to customers, policies, or contract accounts. But the reality is a big portion of these payments don't get matched automatically and fall into clarifications or suspense accounts. And that's what is the major pain point for the business. Handling these bulk of clarification cases. And depending upon which industry we are talking, somewhere ranging from 5% to 30% of the payments end up in suspense account. Maybe for utilities or telecom industry, it is lower. But when it comes to insurance, which still uses checks or sometimes cash payments, or sometimes the payments against the invoices with the reference numbers, the number of the clarification cases are higher, somewhere between 25 to 30%. And this happens because of poor reference data, like missing contract accounts, or policy number, or references that just don't exist in SAP. Another challenge comes from having broker or corporate payments, which is made in bulk, and it becomes even harder for these payments to be allocated against each and every invoices, or breaking down to the each and every open items that need to be cleared. So because of this, finance and operation teams end up sending hours of digging through clarification work list. They manually search by name, by trying to match amounts or check old remittances, basically acting like, some kind of detectives. Instead of working efficiently, they are firefighting, most of the time in the firefighting mode. And because of a lot of these processes depends on uh, people knowing the business and the customer really well. So they are dedicated, customer service representatives, or agent service representatives taking care of particular collection agents or particular brokers, and trying to match their payments to the right invoices. Another major issue is the lack of standardization in the way matching rules are set up. Different business lines use different formats, different payment files comes in different styles, and legacy systems don't always align with SAP. So even if SAP has the capability to automate a lot of this, it can't, because it doesn't get clean, consistent data. If the integration and the reference setup isn't designed carefully, automatic clearing suffers and clarification keeps increasing. So in industries like insurance, broker payments are a separate headache. One payment might belongs to thousands of policies, and without proper remittance advice or structured file format, there is no way SAP can automatically allocate them. These payments creates a big backlog in clarification and delay policy updates, commissions, financial postings. So the business impact goes beyond finance; it hits operations and customer service too. Even after payments are posted, many companies still struggle with bank reconciliations, mostly because of payment timings doesn't match cash settlement timings, especially when we talk about card or ACH payments. Uh, Even and with returns and chargebacks and disputes, it becomes much harder. Reconciliation with FICA and general ledger, the actual bank statement often becomes a month-end nightmare. Global companies dealing with multiple banks and payment service provider face even more complexity. So, what makes this even more serious is the downstream impact. When payments are not allocated correctly, customers get unnecessary reminders or dunning notices. Policies get wrongly cancelled, or the contracts get wrongly cancelled. Agents and brokers complain because commissions delays or state commission statement doesn't matches. Finance losses, cash visibility, and the books does not close on the time. These all add up to the finance department woes at the month end processes. And at the end of the day, your customer satisfaction also goes down. So the bottom line is this: these challenges don't exist because FICA or FSCD can't handle these processes. They exist because of data issues, we have weak process designs, or missing automations. If the companies which are looking to fix this need to focus on building stronger matching rules, having improving reference data, and automating their exception handling processes, and also tightening some of the reconciliation controls. These are the things that if we can focus on, I think most of these challenges can be handled.
Mithlesh, just to add to what you said, the challenge becomes even more tougher when we see the revolution in the payment ecosystems. It's not only ACH and checks anymore. We have all sorts of modern payments like digital wallets, real-time payment networks, and many new options coming up. And each one of them brings its own challenges in terms of integration. We have different standards, different data formats, different message structures, different reference structures, and integrating them seamlessly within the SAP ecosystem is a challenging task. We cannot rely only on the old polling mechanisms, but we have to have a modern integration architecture like webhooks or event-driven architecture to seamlessly integrate these payment sources into SAP. And this requires a smarter and an automated solution to make sure that the reconciliations and the payment processing uh, happen smoothly rather than teams spending hours and hours in reconciling and uh, matching these payments.
So, and Jaideep, this is precisely why I see lesser number of clarification cases. But of course, it's an integration nightmare dealing with new ecosystems, a new payment ecosystem. But in a long run, it reduces a lot of workload from clarification queues because these new payment channels, what it does is it helps you to track the payment from the source to the target, which is basically for which the payment is targeted to be cleared end to end. So that reduces the workload on the clarification. You have less number of, and that's why when I look into utility industry or like look into telecom industry, they are more using these real-time payments for the customer payments, and they are they are able to reduce the number of clarification cases. But we still, I mean, we cannot still get away through challenges that we get through check payments or the or the bulk payments that we receive from the corporates or from the brokers or from the collection agencies. And those payments are still a nightmare for the business to handle it in the clarification queue.
So I think both of you highlighted the need of effective handling of clarifications and its reconciliation with different payment sources, right? My next question addressing you, Jaideep, now. How does artificial intelligence help?
Okay, so the real question becomes how do we break this manual workload cycle? Because up to this point, we have talked about the payments, getting stuck into clarifications, the time spent researching payment details, and how daily reconciliations has become a never-ending marathon. Okay, so the real shift, the real unlock comes from AI and ML. So let's talk about what actually breaks the manual workload cycle that we see every day in reconciliations and cash application teams. Uh, so now in cash and collections team, the biggest pain point is clarification account bottleneck. Payments are coming in, but the system doesn't have enough clear reference information to automatically post them. And when the system can't decide, the payments is pushed into clarification where a human has to investigate and apply the payments. This is exactly where AI comes into picture. So let me break it down. Uh, Point one, intelligent data extraction. So AI-driven application solutions can use NLP and OCR to read and interpret these unstructured information, remittances data that system traditionally couldn't handle. So imagine you have a payment advice that arrives via email. Historically, someone has to, in the team, has to go through that email, search for the policy or invoice number, compare it to the bank statement, verify the amount, matches, and then make the postings decisions. With AI, that entire step can be automated. The system reads the email, identifies the key text, extracts the invoice or policy information or contractual information, and normalizes the formatting, even if the email looks different every time. It does the same thing for broker files, for lockbox statements, PDF remittances, spreadsheets, scanned forms, whatnot. This alone removes hours of manual lookup and interpretation work. Two, predictive matching using machine learnings. Once the information is extracted and cleaned, machine learning kicks in. The ML model looks at how payments were matched historically, which decisions clerks made, which patterns indicate accurate postings. Over time, the model learns to predict and correct open receivables for the new payments. And this isn't a guesswork. It provides a confidence report, confidence score. If the confidence score is high, the system automatically posts the payments, which is a straight through processing. If the confidence score is low, the system can pre-analyze and route it to the collection teams with all the relevant details where a human can make his decision how to post this or which account to post this particular payment. So instead of starting from scratch, the clerk gets a ready to decide work item which he has taken action on. That means less time searching reference numbers, less time deciphering the remittance messages, less time moving between screens and systems, and crucially, every time the clerk accepts or corrects the suggestion, the model learns and accuracy improves. Three, the real outcome what this produces is a self-improving system. Over weeks and months, the standard straight-through processing rate steadily climbs. Fewer payments land into clarifications, cash gets applied faster, reconciliations becomes clear, the month-end close becomes easier and shorter, and your team shifts from let me search the payment to let me only touch the truly complex and exceptions. This is where biggest value shows up. You have reduced manual workload, you have reduced operational dependency on individual knowledge, you have faster visibility into cash positions, you have higher working capital efficiency. So AI isn't replacing people, it's taking away the repetitive monotonous work that should never have been done by people in the first place. The team stays exactly where they should be, making judgment calls, managing customer relationships, involved into business decisions, driving collection strategy, not hunting through emails for invoice number, payments, and contracts information. So, to put it simply, AI allows system to finally think the way your best clerk does on their best day and to do it consistently at scale and without slowing down.
So Jaideep, you are absolutely right. I mean, if you think from FICA or any of the FICA variants like FSCD or PSCD solutions, they have a very strong clearing workbench. You can provide. I mean, so if you know this how the system works, you can build the most complex logic of your clearing processes within that workbench, and it will help you to reduce your number of clarification cases. The If you utilize it in a optimized way. Uh, Now the problem is those unknowns that we see every now and then. Like I mean, you cannot. I mean, your customer can always outsmart you with providing kind of informations in the payments which you cannot imagine, right? I mean, but somehow based on the information that he has provided and based on your the other information correspondence you receive through correspondences like emails or like any form of correspondences, you are able to track the payment for the invoice for which the customer has made the payment. What AI can help here is AI can learn from these clarifications from the business from month to month. So every time a business is taking an action, it's basically teaching the solution so that the next time the business does not have to repeat the same action. Basically, what business would do is it will clarify that next time AI will use through the algorithm. It will give a kind of like a confidence level based on which business can say, okay, yeah, I agree with this confidence level. It will reduce its manual effort to an extent of, I would say, it's like um, using using a tool, using a tool in to help them. Instead of going through, as you said, instead of going through all these documents or all these correspondences manually, AI will already take care of that, and then provide them the confidence level. The business will, I mean, if it is fine, and if validate it, provide a feedback, and based on that, the next time, even the business does not even have to provide. If the confidence level reaches to a particular threshold, you can automate the solution. So this is the most interesting part, and what we are going to see going further with this tool integrated in their clarification workbench is lesser and lesser time business spending on these back office challenges. And what happens with this is the business is able to spend more time in terms of where the decision making is needed. And which can help drive growth, or just not just balancing the books, basically.
I think that's a really interesting point that you've made, Mithlesh. And also, I think being able to solve problems in real time is definitely a great advantage. For people watching us, which of these challenges is most critical to your business? We would really like to know thoughts of everybody watching us. So please comment and let us know. Our experts will get back to you, respond real time. And coming back to the chat again, let us deep dive into some of the points that we discussed here today, starting with the clarification issues, which, as Mithlesh pointed out, are often the root causes of delayed cash flow. And addressing you again, Mithlesh, how do you think the combination of SAP and artificial intelligence can help?
So, I mean, continuing from what we just discussed on this AI, what I see is it's just a continuation of what you already have built in the solution. You have a framework already built in a solution. If you're using SAP FICA or any flavor of FICA, you will be aware of how SAP clearing houses works, right? I mean, you have rules. Rules are nothing but intelligent way of handling these payments and doing the allocations, right? So these rules are already built in within SAP, and you can keep on building. If you already know what kind of rules you want to apply, you can keep on adding them in the system. What AI is going to do is know the rules that you are not aware of it, and those rules that can come in future, how you would be able to on the fly able to automate them within the system using the same clarification and clearing workbench that SAP provides you out of the box. I mean, you have so if you look into all these things, considering all these concepts and having the in-depth understanding of how these clarification processes work in FICA, what we have done is we have worked with some customers to come up with a process on handling these clarification items with the help of machine learning algorithms. So what we have done is, if based on what you see here, this is quite familiar process in any kind of SAP FICA or FICA similar to FICA like FSCD or PSCD flavored solutions. You will see that you have companies which receives advices, remittance advices, and then you have banks providing you remittance advices. You have invoice items that contains details about your for which the payments are coming in. All these informations are important for doing the are considered during the standard clearing rule processing. So what happens is the clearing process within SAP will take the information that comes from the remittance advices, take the open invoices, and then try to match it based on the rules that we have already configured in the system. And if it is automatically cleared, then it will go through automatic clearing process and clear the payment. Now, the problem is those 5%. And what we are trying to do here is embed machine learning for that 5%. So what we are not trying to change anything here in the way how FICA works. FICA, what we are trying to make FICA enable is basically even becoming more intelligent in applying those rules that are not already configured in the system. So what happens is for the first time, let's say those 95% of the payments goes through straight through processing and the 5% land in the clarification cases. Now that's where you will use your algorithms to create a matching confidence of whether it's to against the invoices to find out whether it's like acceptable for to clear them or not to clear them basically. Now if it is passing based on like the information that we have, and algorithms are able to based on the payment history that we already have in the system, and the information that we receive in, for example, note to pay section, or in any form in the payment, either in through emails or through correspondences. If we have able to find out those invoices and the confidence level are higher, then you can automatically, it can still follow the automatic clearing rule, and it will payment will be clear. No interference required from the clerks. Nothing to do. So for them, this percentage will even go further down. So out of that 5%, maybe 3% would be automatically cleared, and the 2% based on the matching confidence level, and the remaining 2% will still be looked by the clerks. Now, the job doesn't end here for AI. That's where it's become more interesting. Is now if a clerk is able to clarify something based on the information that is already there, next time the algorithm can optimize and learn from what from the actions from the feed or the feedback that it is receiving from the clerks based on those open items. So it goes into those historical transactions, and again the algorithms will be able to, based on those the historical transactions, this time even able to match those payments which were manually cleared by the clerks. So this is what we are trying to, it's kind of like embedding AI within the already robust framework that is provided by FICA. That's what we are trying to do here. And it looks from, I mean, if you think from a business perspective, what it does is it over the period it basically reduces your cases in the clarification workbench. From now you are doing 5%, out of which still clerks are spending time. It will go down to a level where you have 3%, 2%, or 1%, and the dream comes true when you have nothing there for your clerks to be processed. That's the end goal.
Uh, Thanks, Mithlesh. You have framed that very clearly. Taking that forward, the conversation is really about ownership and execution. Who actually brings this to life and how it's coordinated across the teams. So, when we talk about bringing AI into collections and cash applications, it's not just a technological shift, it's a capability which we are talking about. And that means we need the right people involved at to make it work sustainably. Now, one of the most common questions I get is what does it actually take to implement AI in collections or cash applications or FICA? And I really like this question because the answer is not buy a tool and turn it on. This is a team and process transformation, and the success depends on having the right people and the right technology working in tandem together. So let's start with the people. To implement AI in collection successfully, you need primarily five key roles. You need a collections operations lead, data scientist, change manager, AI product manager, and a finance or IT analyst. Now, starting with the collections operations lead, this is the person who understands the day-to-day business reality. They know where the bottlenecks are, what are the business pain points. Uh, they know the exceptions that are common. They know how to validate whether the AI's recommendations make sense in the real operations. They are the voice of the business and the anchor of the project. A data scientist is where the AI comes into life. He trains the machine learning model using historical clearing decisions, the human wisdom that already exists in your team. They fine tune the model, they monitor its accuracy, and they make sure it continues improving over the time. A change manager, and this is critical. Even the best AI model won't matter if users don't trust it. A change manager focuses on adoption, uh, communicating the why, guiding the shift in workflows, and supporting the clerks as they move from manual work to exception based work. This is how you avoid the we'll just do it older way problem. Which brings me to an AI product owner who is the person who connects the technology and the technical world along with the business world. They make sure that AI solutions that we have are aligned with the business goals, manages priorities, and evolves model as the business changes. They act as a bridge between the business and the technology. And lastly, we have to have a finance and IT analyst. Finally, we need someone who understands FICA and the finance flows, the person who knows how the postings occur, how reports are built, how the reconciliations are fed into GL. They ensure the automation fits the financial controls and the reporting needs. When these five roles are in sync, the solutions become sustainable, scalable, and embedded into the daily work, not just a proof of concept. Now let's talk about the technology stack that supports them. At the core, we still have FICA, FSCD, or other variants of FICA. This is where the postings and clearing logic lives, but we enhance it with SAP BTP, specifically the AI core and AI foundations, which host and run the machine learning models. The AI model sends predictions directly back into SAP, so the clerk sees the recommendations match inside the same screen they already work in. For leaders, we can create Fiori dashboards to show the live KPIs, straight through processing rates, number of payment stocks in clarifications, time to resolutions, and trends over the month. This is how we move from a reactive reporting to a real-time insights. And for more advanced organizations, model training and retraining can also be done using tools like Azure Machine Learning or AWS SageMaker, depending on enterprise cloud strategy that the particular organization have. Those platforms will help us evaluate the model over a period of time, detect that data pattern shifts, and continuously improve the accuracy of the model. So the point here is it's not a rip and replace transformation. We are rebuilding systems. We are augmenting them, injecting intelligence in the existing processes. And from a business perspective, the results show up very clearly in terms of faster and predictable cash flows, better accuracy in terms of liquidity forecasting, uh, fewer fire drills during month end and quarter closes. And the major shift is this: your finance team moves away from firefighting to a more strategic work in terms of customer outreach, operational improvements, cash planning. So, in my opinion, AI is not replacing your team, rather than that, it is elevating them.
So, Jaideep, one point that particularly I would like to highlight here, especially the two roles that you talked about. One of them is the operational lead role, and then the second one is the AI agile product owner role. Now, if you think why I'm highlighting this is sometimes we think AI can only solve this problem. When we know the problem is and we have a detailed understanding of the problem, you don't have to wait for AI. I mean, it's that you already have the right tools in place. If you think about and that's where my experience with FICA and FSCD, what I have seen customer is using FICA and FSCD underutilizing the clearing workbench. They're thinking that certain processes, when we talk about FICA and FSCD, if you already have a clear understanding of how what information is needed for making sure that these cash allocations can be done properly, And if you have that understanding within your organization, you don't have to wait for your AI to tell you how it should be matched. You can very well put into those information within the system, within FICA, within FSCD. You can very well enable. You can your clearing controls in a way, design your clearing controls in a way that it reduces your load on your clarification queue. That's the very important point. And the second important point, specifically for AI as a product owner, is means they have to understand. Every product owner has to understand. Whoever is dealing with AI is that on the day one you are not going to get the result that you're looking for. It is starting. It's like a learning curve. It's like on the day one you may have a set of test data, and you may have already a set of information that can give you historic information on which you can train your model and your payments, and then you can predict better than your what the rules has already been. You can do some level of prediction, but the real result, what you see, is over the period, because it's the feedback process where the AI is already learning from the actions that you are taking, and then helping you to come back and solve, optimize the next time you're clearing queues. So this is important. These are the two roles that is important, and both the roles are it's a business oriented. It's like managing the expectation with the stakeholder. So the tool can only do much. And we have to have right expectations set to the tool, for the tool, basically. So we can say that, okay, these are the right expectations. We are looking for this information, but um, at the end of the day, the stakeholders need to be better, well informed and better managed with these kind of clarity that we need to give them. Make sure that they understand what is going in AI, what is going in as the rule within the clearing houses, and then how over the period AI is performing, so that they can have some patience, wait for see the results, see those dashboards, keep and see the progress of this, how the AI is basically helping them to reduce the workload over the period of the time. So these are the two important roles. So the organization has to be, for the organization, this has to be very, very important to understand. And on the other hand, for FICA and BRIM, this is not new. This is a solution which has been SAP already have a cache application, machine learning algorithms. So either we can use SAP, or SAP already also helps you. It provides you BTP framework where you can embed the AI enabled rules, which is or non-SAP. So you can do both ways. And FICA and FICA and any variant of FICA like FSCD or PSCD, it can always, it's such a stable solution that you don't have to design from zero. You are just plugging in. A solution is already there. You just need a plug-in for you to make it work.
So, as you rightly said, Mithlesh, Pika is a robust and stable solution. And if infused with AI, it can address all the operational or technological challenges the business is facing right now.
So I think yes, Jaideep and Mithlesh, thank you so much for getting into this. And I think as we have discussed, the combination of SAP's robust subledger capabilities and AI-driven intelligence is redefining how insurers and utilities manage payments, reconciliation, financial transparency. What once required teams of analysts and endless spreadsheets can now be handled by intelligent models that learn, even predict, and act in real time. So, AI isn't really replacing the finance function, it is augmenting it. It is allowing teams to close clarification cases faster, reconcile accounts with greater accuracy, and gain a live view of cash positions. The real win lies in shifting finance from a reactive, error correcting role to a proactive, insight driven partner. And I think in business decision making, this is of paramount importance. In short, SAP provides the structure, AI brings the intelligence, and together they help organizations move from manual reconciliation to self healing finance operations where every transaction tells its own story. instantly and accurately. So now, thank you so much, Mithlesh and Jaideep, for joining us today. This was a great session. It was extremely insightful. Thank you, everyone else who is watching us. If you have any questions, feel free to comment in chat or reach out to us. You can DM us, you can email us, you can visit our website. We have recently revamped our website. We would love to get in touch. For now, we will be closing the session and signing off until the next webinar. Guys, we can all say goodbye now. Bye. See you next time. Signing
Thank
out.
you. Thank you, Neha,
Thank
and
Thank
thank you
you.
for, yeah, thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Eddie. Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.